Okay. Hi guys. It's me again, Lauren. My hair is growing crazy. I said that I would initially tell my story. I first posted a video of me shaving my head, and really that it doesn't even seem to be that big of a deal to me anymore, but I'll start from the beginning. I initially had some lumps on my neck, and they were like little pea-sized lumps, and I just thought, oh, that's kind of weird, you know. I'll talk to my doctor about it. So I went to my doctor, and she said, we'll run a blood test. And I'm like, okay. So we ran a blood test, and it came out like there was nothing. So I thought, okay, well, there's nothing. And all the counts were good, like the white blood cells was good, and so I thought, well, then it can't be like cancer or anything, because, you know, my cell counts are up, so that's good. And then they started growing, like way bigger. It was grape size, and then it like even turned into like golf size lumps on my neck. I mean, I could stand there and you could see it like protruding out of my neck. And I just thought, this is so weird, like, you know, and I didn't really have any symptoms other than I was really tired, but I worked a lot, so I just equated it to me working. But then I went and got a sonogram, and that came up nothing either. And so they said, well, we're going to send you to an ENT doctor, and up at Barnes-Jewish Hospital in St. Louis. And I went up there, and the attending guy, or the fellow, he checked me out, you know. They didn't run any blood tests. They didn't do anything like that. And then the old doctor comes in just to, you know, reiterate that there's nothing wrong with me. And he feels on my neck, and he says, oh, it's just an upper respiratory infection. And I told the doctor, I said, but I never was sick. And he says, it's an upper respiratory infection. And I just said, well, the lumps, they're growing on my neck. And he says, well, it takes a while for it to go away. And so I thought, well, I mean, he's a specialist. He knows what he's talking about, right? I guess. So then about a week later, it was very inconvenient. I mean, the whole thing's inconvenient, but about a week later, I was really having trouble breathing. And so I'm like, screw this. I'm going to the emergency room. I don't know what's going on with me. No one's paying attention to me. No one's listening to what I'm trying to tell them. Something is wrong. And so I go to the emergency room in Parkland, Bonne Terre, Missouri. And I told her everything that I was telling you, this doctor, and she was sweet. And she said, okay, well, we normally don't give CAT scans, but I'm going to go ahead and do a CAT scan, and then we'll let you know what's going on. And I said, okay. So they did a scan of my head, neck, and chest. And when she came in, it was like, I don't know, it was like she was scared for me. It scared me a little bit. I wasn't, like, I just knew it was kind of serious, you know. And she said, listen, I'm a retired surgeon. I do this, part-time, but I want to let you know that I think you have lymphoma. I don't know yet, because, you'll have to go to the hospital. And she said, now when you go, she said, or call, do not take no for an answer. She said, I don't care what happens, you need to tell them, look at your CAT scans. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what lymphoma was. And so I was like, okay. So I went home, and I called up at Barnes-Jewish, and I said, you need to take a look at my CAT scan. Well, within like 7 minutes, like 3 different doctors called me and said, you need to come in right now. And that's when I was like, whew, well, I didn't even Google it at this time. Like, I still didn't realize what it was. It's cancer. And it was on a Sunday that I called, and I was like, well, I waited this long anyways, I can wait another night. And I packed all my stuff and I went in, and that Monday that I went in, they did a biopsy on that golf-sized freaking lymph node that I told them to look at anyways, and CAT scans, MRIs, PET scans, blood work, bone marrow was taken from me. It's not fun. Tons of other stuff. And they said you have stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, classical Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the outcome is usually really, really good. You know, it's just like, great, you know? And so I went through what they call cycles of chemo. ABVD is what it is. And anytime I go to surgeon, or if I have to get some kind of surgery or something, I have to say I had bleomycin, because for some weird reason that has some sort of effect on the whole thing. I don't know. Anyways, so I did 12 rounds of chemo, and I didn't care for it. You know, I don't know who does, but my doctor, he was persistent in administering the chemo through my veins. And I have scars throughout my arms because of the chemo being administered through my arms. He did not want me to have the port at all. The port that would go right in here. I don't know if you can see it. And I wanted it so bad. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. You're torturing me with my arms, and like, I can't do it anymore. And he really wanted me. He said, now where the cancer was, it was a small portion in my skull. It was in my neck. There was a mass over my heart, they said, the size of a fist. It was in my upper abdomen, my lower abdomen, my spleen, my liver. It was in my bone marrow. So it was everywhere. And if I listened to that one doctor who said, come back in 6 months, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been dead. I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. So he was wrong. But back to my doctor now, he would not let me get the port because of a blood issue, because I will not take blood. And he said that there's percentages, a chance that, you know, infection or something will happen. And after the 8th chemo, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I want the port. I didn't care if there was 100% chance of infection. I didn't care about the percentages at all. Every time I went to the hospital to get chemo, it was literally torture. It was disgusting, and I just hated it. And so I got my port. I'm really happy about that. And I'm like even happier now because, and this will be part 2 of my video to you guys, I got a PET scan after my 12th chemo, and they said, oh, it's beautiful, it cured everything. And I'm like, yes, I can move on with my life. I can work, I can grow my hair back and my eyebrows, you know, and I'm just like really happy about it. And the doctor said, oh, but you know, there's a little spot here on your arm, but that's nothing. It can't be cancer. Not with what you went through and the type of cancer you have, there's just no way. It's what he called like artifact, a glitch in the system. It wasn't anything. And I was like, okay, I'll believe you, just like I believed the previous doctor who said it was an upper respiratory infection, because I'm told these things by doctors who are supposed to take care of me and know what's going on, and they're professionals, you know. They know what they're doing. Well, he was wrong. Because I would say, my mom argues with me about this, but I'm saying it's 2 months. She says it's less than whatever. I started feeling these lumps on my neck, but thank God, because if not, I would not have known that there was cancer in my bones, in my left arm, because there's really no signs that I could tell that there would be cancer in my bone. So my lymph nodes were getting swollen again. And I called them up and I said, I'm not hallucinating. These lumps are coming back. So they said, come on in and we'll get you a PET scan. And I said, okay. So I went in and they said, we were wrong. It's cancer. So I guess it's the same kind of cancer. I mean, nothing's really explained to me in detail. They asked me, do you have any questions? And I do after I leave the doctor's office, not like when I'm there, because I'm just like, you know. So that's my story about Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm a very rare case. That's why they were so sure that it was gone and that there was a glitch in the system. And so I will get back to you, because I will be going through, well, I'm going through it right now as chemo. I just had my first round of chemo. And then if they do a PET scan and it comes out that it's in remission, I'm going to do a stem cell transplant, an auto, what they call stem cell transplant. And I'll keep you guys posted. I just don't want to lose my hair again. That was a big thing for me. I mean, like, I gained weight. A lot of bad things happened to me, but for